And we are recording. Different angle. I know. Guess what, folks? It's Sunday. Yes, it fucking is. Time for a bit of what's up. So, the camera, that's a strip of Velcro. But the Velcro at the back of the camera, that I usually go, that fell off. It's lost its stickiness at the back. And I don't have any Velcro left. I need to order another roll of the cheap stuff from Amazon, so you're stuck with the live show angle instead. We're at the beginning of November, folks. We all know what that means. It means the EcigClick UK nominations have now opened up. There's going to be a link in the description to the EcigClick UK nominations page. Get a cuppa and a couple of chocolate biscuits and spend 10 to 15 minutes just filling out each category. There's a lot of categories there, but some of them are fairly easy, like favourite fruit juice, favourite brick and mortar store, that kind of thing. I mean, it would be good if you could fill out at least most of it. And of course, somewhere at the very bottom, there's the bit for best international and best UK reviewer. Hi, yeah, the reviewer bit's in there as well. But it would be good if you could fill out the other categories as well. That way, EcigClick's got a broader base of names to choose from for the top 10 positions when they open up the voting side of it, which should be about halfway through this month. Because there is a lot of advanced and hobbyist vapors that watch this channel. So, you know, the RBA section, the kind of high wattage mod section, would be good to get a broader base in there. So there's a bit more choice. There's a bit more choice when it comes to the voting part of it, which comes up at the middle of this month. So link to the EcigClick UK nominations thing is down there, and this camera's looking a little bit orange. Hold on. The colour settings are a little bit off. Let's head in here. Head into here. It's weird. It was looking fine when I hit record. Nope, not that one. It's not that one either. It must be that one. Now that's a bit better. Wonder why it went. Oh, you see, there we go. Right, that'll do it. Now I need to bump the gain up. Round about there. So, the Regency line launched. The Regency line launched this week, and the King sold out. It's gone. It's gone. I think Carol is getting a new batch of the King in beginning of next week sometime. But I was kind of surprised at how quick those juices, especially the King, how quick it actually sold out. At the time of recording this, there's like the King's out of stock, just gone. There's about 5 bottles of the Prince left. That's the other peach custard, the different variation. And there's something like 25 bottles or 20 bottles of Duchess left. So, yeah, they sold out quick. A big thanks to everyone who's been buying the new Vaping With Vic Regency line of liquids from Exceptional Vapes. Again, every bottle sold either on wholesale or on retail for the Exceptional Vapes website. A little cut of it goes to me to help keep the roof over our head and the studio rented out. More about that later on. So there is plans for an extension of that juice line. It's not going to be a big juice line of fucking 15-20 liquids. It's probably going to end up at round about 6 or 7 liquids in total, because there's the matching pair of the 3 that's out right now. So the King's out, we need a queen, right? So the King's out, but we need a queen. The Duchess is out, but we need a duke. The Prince is out, but we need a princess. And that's a total of 6 liquids to match up together, with possibly a 7th, right? I know that me and Carol were chatting about the UK Vapor Expo in May, and I think one of the plans is that possibly the last liquid of the line will be released at the weekend of the UK Vapor Expo, and hopefully be at the Exceptional Vapes stall for a couple of hours on Saturday and a couple of hours on Sunday, just to chat to folks that are buying the liquids at the stand. So yeah, big thanks to everyone that's been vaping the liquids. I hope you're enjoying them, because I know I've got the king in here right now. Very nice. It's just a thing. That's what I get for leaving Second Life open. It's just a thing that I've always been hooked on. I've always been hooked on peach custards. Always been hooked in peach custards. Peach custards, and it used to be watermelon, but now it's blackcurrant. This stuff, basically, is black vine, but it used to be watermelon before that. That's why the Duchess is there. I've got a couple of other liquid flavours mulling around in my head. I'm going to wait for a month or so before I start mixing testers up here at the house. But I'm got a couple of flavours buzzing around in my head right now. It's just figuring out how to layer the flavours up. Anyway, there was one item that came in this week, but it was a pod kit, and it came in really late Friday afternoon, so there's no first looks, folks. It's going to be a rather short what's up, to be honest. It's going to be a rather short one. There was no reviews up this week either, because, well, the studio's a disaster zone. I'll be the first to admit it. Last week was supposed to be the week that I would get round to organising and essentially cleaning that studio, because there's just stuff everywhere. And I know that a lot of folks were saying in other Facebook groups and in live shows, why doesn't Vic sell any of it? Here's the thing, I can't. If I was doing this as a hobby, if I was not registered under HMRC as a media company, if I was doing this as a hobby, I'd be straight onto Facebook and fucking selling a lot of the stuff that's in there right now. But the thing is, I can't, because I'm paying tax and all the rest of it under Vaping With Vic, and because Vaping With Vic's registered under a media company, I would need to switch to retail. And if I was to switch the company to retail, a whole shitload of new rules drops in via the TRPR in the UK. And running an online shop sounds easy. Or just get all the stock in and set up. It's not. There's pitfalls that you need to look out for, especially when it comes to TRPR. And the problem is, if I was to switch Vaping With Vic to a retail company, which I would legally have to do to sell the stuff that's sitting there in that studio, then I run into the problems with the advertising and media side of things under the TRPR. What I would need to do is to be honest, I was actually thinking of doing this at the beginning of 2019, set up a second company named Vaping With Vic E-cig shop, and split it from Vaping With Vic the reviewer. But it's too fucking late to do that now. It's fucking way too late to do that now. So this is why I don't sell anything. That's why I've never sold anything. Never. Oh, actually, hold on. I've sold something once. And I think it was an old mech mod, from what I remember. This was way back in 2017. But I haven't sold anything. It's one item. Literally one item. All these years that I've been reviewing, I haven't sold anything before that or since then. This is why the way that I get rid of the doubles, and especially the fucking boxes and boxes of pod kits lying up there, auctions. That's what I do. It's the quickest and cleanest way to get a lot of the double ups and a lot of the triple ups, in the case of like boxes of pod kits that come in, out of the door and into someone else's hands, and none of the money goes into my pocket or into the bank account as a clear net profit. The way the TRPR is written up was lifted straight from the TPD, and it basically states if you're selling an item and you're taking some of that profit for yourself, technically speaking, you are a vendor of a sort. And mixing that up with the review side of things, nah, there's fucking too many fucking loopholes and pitfalls and all sorts of fucking shit that I just don't have the fucking time to negotiate through. So just auction it. Just auction it. Give the money to charity, and this is why I'm planning hopefully to have one of the last major auctions, like big auctions at the end of this month or the very beginning of December. That way it clears out some of the real estate underneath the tables. There's a lot of pod kits. There's like fucking loads of the bastards. There's a lot of pod kits I want to get rid of. Give it to auction winners and they can then spread it out over the new year to smokers that want to give up smoking, and it clears the decks for me going into 2023. That's why I don't sell anything. And don't get me wrong, I've had, in fact, one of the latest emails I got was someone asking about the Kodamas, because if you look at the reviews, it's on this side. I think it's round about there. If you look at the reviews, there's a whole line of Asmodus Kodamas. It's the entire stabilised wood line from Asmodus, and someone was saying, "Go on, Vic, you're not using them, Vic. Go on, sell them to me. Sell them, Vic. You're not. I can't. If I was to get rid of those Kodamas, they would need to be auctioned. Technically and legally speaking, I cannot sell anything. And with as many eyes gazing on this channel waiting for me to trip up so they can talk shit about me on their live show that 2 people watch, I'd rather not give them an excuse to basically grass me in to HMRC for selling stuff that I shouldn't be selling. So auctioned. That's what it comes down to, folks. Basically auctioned. Don't get me wrong. If I was doing this as a hobby, wasn't tax registered, I was just doing it as a hobby, I'd be selling it. Because then it would be personal to personal business transaction. It wouldn't be business to personal. You put business in there, HMRC are all fucking over you. Not just HMRC, but trading fucking standards. They're literally all over you. It's a tricky thing to navigate, and that's why I've got... I'm just checking a message here. There we go. That's why I've got a lot of respect for online vape shops. It looks easy to do. I mean, technically speaking, the initial setup is easy. Set up a WordPress website with a good skin, WooCommerce, or something better than WooCommerce. Get your stock in, balance the books, and then open the site up. But once that website opens up, your store is visible in the eyes of HMRC, and more importantly in the eyes of trading standards. And it's trading standards you have got to pay very, very, very close attention to. Hold on, I need to answer this message here. And this is why auctions. It's easier for me. The money goes to a well-deserved charity, and it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, folks. But again, this is why there's been no reviews this week. I had to get on top of what the hell was going on in that studio, so I've managed to... I haven't got rid of anything. All I've done is move things around. It's like, that pile of pods was there, and that pile of pods is now over there, so I don't trip over the fucking thing. So that's essentially what I've been doing all week. It's been rather interesting. There's pod kits in there that I had completely forgotten about. Some of them are old, like 2-3-year-old pod kits that you can't get the coils for anymore. But there is spare coils in the packaging, which means it'd be good to last for a couple of weeks to let someone dip their toe in the water if they want to give up smoking via vaping. If they got on well with that pod kit that's now discontinued, but if they manage to vape away for 2 weeks, they've got over the 3-day hump of giving up smoking, they're now into vaping. And if they want to stick with vaping, nip to the local VPZ store, buy a new pod kit, something you can actually get the fucking pods and coils for. That's the plan. That is definitely the plan. Anyway, this last section is no doubt going to piss off some people, but we're going to give a little bit of a preface with this. Disposables. Oops, that's the wrong window that I'm opening up here. Disposables. Now, in May, I think it was May after the expo, I said on the channel, I think it was in one of the WhatsApps actually at the end of May, that I was opening the doors up again to disposables. I done one Disposable review and I slammed the door immediately shut again. And, hold on folks. It's a hardware company that I'm chatting to on Facebook right now about plans for, it's not a collaboration thing, right, but it's plans for a video that I'm going to be doing for them. That's why the WhatsApp is actually a bit late going out today. There we go. So I shut the door on that idea, not just because the amount of shit I was getting in the comments, because I was getting a lot of fucking hassle in the comments, but because of what started to happen in May, June and July of this year. It is a very badly kept secret that a lot of disposable companies were throwing around suitcases of cash, not so much for YouTube reviewers, but they were throwing around suitcases of cash to fucking, what's the name of that Instagram? It's like Instagram influencers. There we go, on influencers and brand ambassadors. You've seen them countless times. Like, they hold up a bottle of juice and give it best juice in the UK. I've only vaped it for 2 minutes, but best juice in the UK. And then like a week later they've got another bottle of juice in the other hand and it's the same thing. Best juice in the UK. I've only vaped it for 2 minutes. It's far better than the juice I've fucking reviewed before that. And I don't review them. I just hold them up to the fucking camera with a thumbs up. Best juice. Influencers. Brand ambassadors that don't actually fucking review. They're just shells. They're corporate shells that are paid a fucking fortune on Instagram. Well, that started to happen with the whole Disposable thing. And it started kicking in at the very end of May going into June. And it was at the point where emails, and I got some of the emails as well, it was at the point where there was emails coming in from Disposable companies who were offering £500 for a 30-second Instagram reel, £1,000 for a 30-second Instagram reel, £1,500, £2,000 for a 30-second Instagram reel and a 60-second Facebook video. When YouTube Shorts hit, that's when it got insane. Because Shorts up until that point was very, very rarely used. Very rarely used. Even now, it's still very rarely used in the grand scheme of things when it comes to ECig channels. There's one or two channels that make heavy use of YouTube Shorts, but when you're dealing with Shorts, most people go to TikTok. But then TikTok started clamping down heavy on vaping and YouTube Shorts went on to the rise. There is a number of channels in the US and in the UK where they are doing nothing but YouTube Shorts on their channel, and it's just a case of, imagine this is a pod kit, it's the A3 Caliburn, but just imagine it's a Disposable and they're giving it snapshot with floaty text at the top, best Disposable in the UK. They're doing the same trick they were doing for juices, but they've switched from juices to Disposables because essentially they're being paid more money. So all this was going on. And when I decided to review Disposables at the end of May, this was the shitstorm I was walking into, because I had a fair idea this kind of thing might have been going on in the background, but it wasn't until I started getting emails like this I thought, you know what, Vic, if you keep going down this road, even though you will be doing a review, it will last for about 7 to 10 minutes, because you can't really fucking say much about a Disposable, so the review's going to be fairly fucking short. You can talk about the juice, talk about the battery life, and that's fucking it really. But it's far better than doing a 30-second long Instagram reel with your thumb up pointing at the fucking best device ever. I thought, you know what, it's not worth the fucking hassle. Walking into reviewing Disposables at that point in time, with the rules that I put in place, even with the rules I put in place, it was going to be a shitstorm. Fast forward to now. The Disposable market is on the decline. There is no getting round it. the likes of VPZ, especially my local VPZ shop, have noticed that disposable sales are on the decline. And one of the major reasons is the cost of living crisis. If an average vapor is using one disposable every day, and that disposable is costing him £2, can you get disposables for £2? I think you can, some of the cheaper ones. So that disposable is lasting him for a whole day, and he's spending £2 a day on that disposable. How much is he spending every month? Average of 30 days, times it by 2, £60. You can buy a smock kit, no, not the latest, but you can buy a smock kit for 60 quid. And more importantly, you can buy this, and this is the U-Will Caliburn A3, and a pack of spare pods, and I don't have a 10ml bottle of juice. Just imagine I'm holding a 10ml bottle of juice. You can buy all these three at your local vape shop for half that price. Half that price. And because you're mouth to lung with 18mg freebase, that small 10ml bottle of tobacco liquid will probably last you about a week to a week and a half, because you're only mouth to lunging. And it's this education that a lot of the vape shops are giving to the general public walking in that's now making the general public who are using disposables and nothing but disposables realise they're wasting a lot of money in vaping nothing but disposables. Now, disposables have their place. They do. They're here to stay, folks. It's obvious by now the UK government has got no intention of banning it. They've got no intention of doing it because they would have fucking done it by now. The fact is they haven't. They'll probably raise the taxes on them or something later on. But disposables are here to stay in their current form factor. They do have their place. They are a quick fix for people that have walked out the front door and forgot to bring their vape kit with them. They are a quick fix for people that want to give up smoking quick and easy. Far easier than pod kits. So they're here to stay. So with all this going on, with the shift in the pod, with the shift in the disposable market and the slow declining sales, something started happening about a month and a half ago. And it started a month and a half ago. There was smaller there was smaller disposable companies releasing odd disposables. Like disposables that were basically on the verge of becoming a pod, but they were still disposable. And then some of these companies basically started crossing that bridge and going full hog, in your face, pod, but basically disposable. For instance, a couple of days ago, I got an email from a company I've never heard of. And this company basically said, Vic, you do review for us. It was a Chinese company, right? So I'm breaking this email down very basic, but you do review for us, very best disposable kit ever to hit TRPR market in UK. Juice lock control. And I was like, hold on, fucking rewind that a bit. What did that say? Juice lock control. This is a disposable, TRPR compliant, 2ml of liquid, under 20mg, about the same size as this, with juice flow control built in. You twist the drip tip and some cap thing covers up the coil inside the actual pod, which is sealed inside the unit, and you've got juice flow control in a disposable. Number one, why? Number two, how much is that going to cost you? Doesn't end there though. I got another email that came in. Do a review for us, Vic. This was a company based in the European Union from what I remember. I think the email was sent out from Germany because it was a German web address. But do a review for us, Vic. The device that we've got is the first TPD/TRPR compliant pod that's got locked now this is the way they worded it, locked variable temp. Oh, rewind that a bit. How can you have locked temp but it's variable? I think what they actually meant, because it was lost a bit in translation, it's a disposable with temp control, but the temp control's been locked at something like 500 degrees Fahrenheit for a warm-ish vape. So you're looking at a disposable about this size with temp control in it. another disposable about this size with juice flow control in it. And what we are now seeing with the disposable market, because the sales are declining, some companies are taking it upon themselves to push forward more innovation to try and drive the sales forward. And we're seeing this happening right now. And I thought to myself, right, Vaping with Vic survives on two things: Patreon, Subscribe Star, YouTube members. With the cost of living crisis going on right now, I've lost about 30% of the income over the past month and a half to 2 months from Patreon, Subscribe Star and YouTube members. On top of that as well, the fast tracks that used to happen with Vaporesso fast tracking their latest and greatest kit every month, with UL doing the same thing every month, and averaging out with the fast tracks being once a week, which is enough to offset the losses from Patreon. With no fast tracks happening, I was looking at the balance sheet of Vaping with Vic when I was in Poland, and I thought to myself, fuck. So here's what I'm doing. There is one segment, you know where this is going, there's one segment of this industry where the companies are still willing to do a fast track, and that's the disposables. But I'm tightening up what I'm going to be doing with this. Number one, if your disposable is to be reviewed on this channel, it has to offer something new to the disposable market, like juice flow control, like temp control. Number two, your disposable must be TRPR or TPD compliant. There goes all the high nick stuff. There goes all the disposables that look like a fucking bottle with a tank stuck in top. All that's out the window. So it's got to be TRPR and TPD compliant. Number three, it must have, how am I going to word this? Basically, it must have juice that doesn't suck. Because there's some fucking disposables where the juice is fucking awful, oversweetened, syrupy fucking garbage. So that's the three protocols that I've put in place, and it essentially means any disposable that comes out that's new and innovative will be reviewed on this channel. Any other disposable company that copies that innovation, nope, sorry, already reviewed something like that, try somebody else. Now I know there is going to be a group of people in the comments that are going to be giving it, you fucking traitor! What the fuck are you doing? You're a fucking embarrassment, you fucking backtracking bastard. How dare you review fucking disposables? They're wrecking the fucking industry. Okay, I admit it, I'm backtracking, but I'm backtracking to basically keep the studio running and keep me in a job. But here's the thing. The same people that are going to be complaining down there are going to be the same people that are on independent vape shop Facebook pages and independent vape shop Facebook groups. And they're going to be in that Facebook group or in that independent Facebook page for that shop. And they're going to be best friends with that shop owner. And they're going to be giving it, well done for supplying new vapors disposables, because disposables help people give up smoking. Well done for stocking all those disposables. Good on you, make that money. So hold on a fucking minute here. Your best mate that owns a vape shop can sell disposables to the general public. But on the flip side of that coin, I'm a bastard for reviewing them. Even though your mate who owns a vape shop is raking in far much more money than I'm ever going to do by reviewing the damn things. Okay, how exactly does that work again? Here's the thing. This channel is not going to turn in to shot after shot after shot after shot of me holding up nothing but disposables every fucking day. There's going to be roughly, on average, 3 disposable reviews on this channel a month. And that will be for December, maybe 1 this month, but for December, January, February. And I'm hedging a bet by the time that May and April pop up, the disposable market would have slowed down so much that the pod market would have increased into Generation 4, going into the end of Generation 4, and companies like companies like Vaporesso, Smock, Uwell, Aspire, all the big names, will be back to making their AIOs and single and dual battery box mods and doing their fast tracks again to replace the fast tracks that I'm losing by doing a handful of disposable reviews every month. I am hedging a bet. I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm hedging a bet. That's exactly what I'm doing. But I've basically got to do something to offset the losses. I am not doing this as a hobby. I am doing this as a means of income. I am doing this as a job, essentially. And reviewing 2 or 3 innovative, I mean, we've seen temp control already, we've seen juice flow control already, but for the actual disposable market, that's a rare thing. So reviewing 2 or 3 innovative disposables to see where the disposable market is going, I think it's worth it. And a lot of them are willing to fast track, which plugs a gap in the whole of the income for Vaping with Vic. It's as simple as that. So yeah, so that explains why I'm doing this. I can't sell anything, because I need to switch over to retail, which opens up a whole other fucking can of worms. So I've got to auction everything off. The only thing I can do is open up the doors that little bit more to more different styles of reviews. That's the only thing I can actually do, folks. Anyway, I think that basically covers everything. Yeah, I think that covers everything. Reviews will be back next week as normal, folks, because that's the studio kind of tidied up, but not quite. There's space there now. So anyway, that's it for me, folks. As always, thanks for watching and have a good one.